Good distilling is not just about making a product, it's about making a safe environment every single run. Hey everyone, Distiller Greyling here, one of your favorite home and hobby distillers. You know, a lot of mistakes happen because people think distilling is dangerous by default. The truth is, distilling can be done safely if you understand the risk and you respect the process. So most accidents happen because people rush the process, they ignore the warning signs, or they skip the basics. So today we're going to go through some essential safety checklists every home distiller should know before they even start distilling. Alright, so why does safety matter during distilling? You know, we're looking at heat, we're looking at pressure, vapor, alcohol, electricity, as well as flammable substance. You know, well, when done correctly, safely and responsibly, distilling becomes controlled and predictable. So safety isn't a separate part of distilling, it is distilling. So what I have here today is I'm actually busy with the stripping run from the Sugar Wash 2.0. This is actually the EC 1118 that I'm busy doing a stripping run. I'm going to check the volume, about 300 mils that we have collected already. And the thing is, I'm doing it safely. You know, I've got all my connections, I've got my ventilation, I've got everything set up correctly to do it safely and properly. So let's look at some safety aspects that I want to bring forward today. So first up, I've got ventilation. So alcohol is a vapor, a flammable vapor. You know, vapor build up is quite dangerous. So fresh air reduces that risk. So what I would recommend for good air ventilation is have an open system. You know, I've got a sliding door that's open here. On the other side, I've got a window that's open there. So I've got airflow that can easily come in and out. You know, windows are open. I also, if you have a shed or a garage where you do distill, make sure there's maybe an extraction fan if there's no open windows that you can open. Get an extraction fan to also make sure the vapors are out. You know, avoid sealed rooms. You know, you want to avoid those tiny sealed off rooms. Avoid poor airflow, as well as vapor buildup. You know, you don't want in that small room the vapor can build up and cause injuries, or maybe the vapors can actually start to catch alight and cause a very flash fire. You don't want that. So fresh air is one of the simplest and most effective safety tools that you can use. Next up, we're going to look at fire hazards. Yes, fire risks are usually come from your vapor leaks, you know, maybe from your seals or open flames if you have got a gas burner. You know, poor ventilation, I call that vapor build up and flammable fumes that can build up. Even overheating, you know, maybe this electrical circuit is overheating there at the bottom and then can also cause a fire. And unsafe electrical setups as well. You know, maybe your wiring is not lucky, your extension cord has got maybe a bad point of connection. So always be vigilant of that as well. If you are using gas, you know, make sure you've got excellent ventilation. You know, make sure it's a leak-free system. Not just your vapor still here, your gas section as well. You know, you want to make sure that from your gas bottle to where your burner is, that there's also leak-free, that no flammable vapors can escape there and also catch light. Also have extra awareness when dealing with gas or open flames. As we're still using a flammable vapor, make sure you're extra vigilant while you're doing that as well. Using electricity is normally more controlled and fairly safe to use indoor, but there's also things that you have to avoid there as well. You know, alcohol vapor is invisible. You know, never assume that you will notify the problem before it gets out of control. So always make sure that vapors itself, if you get something that's not like attend to it and don't leave it. Alright, electrical safety. So electricity is easy, especially for beginners, because you've got a steady output and then you can play around with your stove. With open flamers, sometimes you have to first get used to it to really get it fine-tuned. I'm just checking the volume of the catch pot that I don't overfill. I like my notes, as you guys will know. Alright, electricity. So for electricity, always make sure you've got dry connections. You know, you are dealing with distillate and water, so try to keep it away from your connections. You know, have proper extension cords. You know, make sure that your extension cord that you have is, if it is extended and there is a break, make sure it's fastened securely and there's no loose wiring there. Also avoid overloading plugs. I had a 3 kilowatt internal element and I melted the wall socket because the wall socket could only handle 3 kilowatt. So make sure you don't overload your plugs as well. And then keep water away from power. That's one of the most important things. Now, when we do talk about electricity, we're just not talking about your induction plate or your heat source. We're also talking about other things as well. You know, maybe you've got an internal element that has got a control box, so make sure that control box is also secure, electrically safe. Maybe your cooling water, you've got a cooling water pump that circulates your cooling water out of a swimming pool or out of a tank. Also make sure that connections as well is free from water and also safe. Remember, water and electricity do not forgive carelessness. So be careful, especially with water and electricity as well. Next up, we've got ethanol fumes and vapor leaks. So during distillation, your alcohol becomes vapor. That's the separation process. Yeah? The vapor then travels through your still, your whole system, and if there is leaks, it will start to release those flammable fumes, and we don't want it. That's very dangerous. So what we do then, the safety checks that we have then is, you know, inspect your seals. Before I connect my modular still, always make sure the seal is properly. I tighten my clamps even before I start my still. I tighten them to make sure that they're good and proper. I also would check for escaping vapor. You know, sometimes you will be able to see a little bit of steam coming out, so then it visually can see that, hey, there's a leak. Also smell. I would tend to, when I start on my still, I would smell. If I do smell that, you know, there's a sweetness, I would check my vacuum breaker here, and if I can't smell it from there, I would start to smell at all the points. You know, maybe I've got a leak and I have to attend to it immediately. All right. Then a proper assembly still should always remain sealed during the entire operation. Never try to disassemble something while the heat source is still there. That's very important. Using safe containers. Yes, you know, not all plastics are alcohol friendly, so always be vigilant of the containers that you use. Always try to use glass or at least some type of stainless steel, or at least alcohol-proof plastic containers. You know, that other catch cylinders that I have is definitely alcohol safe. So we want to avoid plastic, any random plastic containers. You know, we're talking about a soft drink bottle. You know, don't use that because that's not very alcohol friendly. Also avoid tin containers, because alcohol tend to extract the tin out of the tin, actually the metal out of it. And also avoid chemical containers. If you maybe bought chemicals in a container and you think that yes, it will help for alcohol as well, be vigilant of that. The alcohol can actually extract some of the plastic or the chemical that has pulled into the plastic, and we don't want that. So rather use your glass, use what you know, use what's safe. When you do store your alcohol as well, you know, label your containers, especially the proof on what you store it in as well. You know, keep it sealed, that's always best, and store it away from heat or direct sunlight as well. And please keep it away from children and pets, because we always know they're very curious and want to see exactly what's in the bottles, so try and keep it away from them as well. You know, your spirit is only as safe as the container that you store it in, so always try and keep it stored safe as well. Alright, temperature and heat management. Alright, stable heat always is the safer bet. You know, aggressive heating will cause instability in your still, and we don't want that. Also, rushing increases the mistakes that could be made. So beginner advice for me is, you know, heat it slowly, maintain a steady output. You know, I have it at a constant output and I keep it there the whole time, and observe the behavior carefully. You know, see how your still operates. That's also how you build confidence of how your still operates, how your heat source handles, and how you do different runs as well. Most problems in distilling start with people that rush the process. You know, they want to get it done quick and fast. This is a stripping run, so I do attempt to run it a little bit hotter than normal, but I do it still controlled. Always, if you want to rush, try and do it more controlled, but when you do specific cuts, rather do it low and slow, and will also help you to define your cuts as well. Alright, cooling water safety. Yes, your condenser itself must always stay cold and cool at least. You know, I can feel it's nice and cool. Here I can feel somewhere already it's very hot. Alright. You know, your vapors must fully condense. We don't want any vapors to come through the distillate as well, so that's why we need to ensure that your condenser is always cool. And also, loss of cooling will also be very dangerous. Now, if something happens, you know, my hose pipe all of a sudden disconnects and I don't see it, and this condenser gets hot, then it's going to cause problems. Because the water inside will actually boil away, or get so hot that it will boil away, and then all that distillate is just going to come out as vapor, and it will be just a mess and very dangerous vapor area that will also happen. Alright, So important checks then is make sure your hoses are secured. I always put them in and pull them a little bit to make sure that they're good and proper. Check for proper flow direction. Remember I talked about cooling water in at the bottom, it fills the whole condenser and then hot water out of the top. Always make sure that my water supply is stable. I would check it beforehand, tweak on the needle valve to make sure that it's nice and proper. Where I sit here, I can actually see the water going into the garden. So I can see, yes, there's definitely still a cooling water flow going good and proper. And I would monitor it continuously. Even while I sit here and I write down my notes as the run goes, I would tend to look, can I still see the water outside? Yes, it's still good. I would feel it, feel the condenser, feel the water that flows out. How hot is it? Feel the distillate as well. You want to keep on continuously observing and monitoring as the run goes on as well. Cooling water itself is just not a safety system, it's actually part of the process. You want to condense your vapor as you've separated now, and it's safety there as well as in the process condensing the vapor back into liquids. Alright, pressure and blockages. Yes, this is very important. You still should never become blocked. You never want this boiler to keep on reducing vapor, and somewhere it's blocked and it can cause a pressure buildup. That's very, very dangerous. That's why we want to avoid to block vapor paths, avoid clogged packing that might cause the vapor to stay there, and we want to avoid seal systems without any safety devices. That's why I have got this guy here, that yes, it's a vacuum breaker that it can pull in vacuum if there is a vacuum inside my still and I don't want it, but it also releases pressure if there's too much buildup of pressure as well. So vapor must always have a safe path through your still. It comes up, it condenses, it goes out. You don't want that risk of vapor building up and all of a sudden there's a big explosion because there's pressure buildup and you didn't know. Alright, I know that this is quite strong, it can handle a lot of pressure, but you still want to make sure that you have got a safety device that can protect you as well as your equipment. Alright, a clean workspace is a safe workspace. Yes, I always advocate about that. I'm always talking about keeping your area organized, good housekeeping, having the floors dry as well, having my cooling water pipes in such a way that I can easily walk over it without tripping it. No clutter around my desk. Yes, this is now part of my video itself, but as you can see, the area where I'm distilling, writing down my notes, it's clutter free. And also my tools are stored properly. When I'm done distilling, I have distilled in a corner, I have my cupboard where everything is stored nice and properly, and I can open up the door and I know exactly where's everything. And also to have easy access to shut-off points. If I see something is wrong, I know I can just switch off the electricity behind me, 2 steps, and I can close the cooling water if I see all of a sudden there's a leak on this side. So always have clear access to your access points as well. A calm workspace makes a calm distiller, and that's what you want. You don't want to be frantic. If something goes wrong, you immediately want to know, just do this, do that, and everything is safe again. Alright, next up we've got pre-run safety checks. This is the safety checks that I do before I do a run. I check all these before I even start. So I always check that all my seals, I check them to make sure even before I connect the 2 parts together that the seals sit nicely properly in the seat. I would tighten my clamps. Even when I build the whole still, I would go again and make sure all the clamps are tightened. Check that my cooling water is connected and connected in the correct way as well. I check the cooling water that is flowing through, fill my condenser that I know is right. Open ventilation, I make sure all my doors are open. I check my cooling has no leak, even the leak from the water supply as well. I check that my collection jars are ready. Today I'm only collecting in this one, so I know that one is good and ready. Also, I check that my power connections are dry and no water is on the connections as well. Professional habits starts before you even start up your heat source. It's good practice going forward. Things you should never do while distilling is leave your still unattended. I always say try to be with your still while you're distilling. Always be around your still and know exactly what's going on. Never distill in a sealed room. If you do have a small shed or a garage, see that there's an extraction fan or at least some open source of ventilation. Never ignore vapor leaks. If you sit with your still and you can see, there's a little bit of steam going, and you feel like, I'm not going to stop it now, because don't ignore it. Rather switch it off, get it sorted, make sure you've got no vapor leaks. Never use unsafe containers. Like I said, don't use any funny plastic holders or things that might have hold chemicals already in. use your glass, use your safe holders. That's very important. Never rush the process. Like I said, certain runs are there for a reason, but even that, don't try to rush it. Know your still, know your limits of your cooling water. Your heat source might be that it can be more, you can have more heat input to run it faster, but maybe your cooling water can't handle it and you have a chance of having vapor through it as well. So know your still and don't rush the process. Never distill while you are distracted or impaired. So don't distill while you're cleaning the house. You might be more busy than you thought, and then something could happen as well. I always try to do that when I do the still this day. I stay with my still. Maybe here by the space that I'm working, I might work on something, but I'm still always in quick distance of something that can happen. Switch off the electricity, switch off the water. Don't be too far, don't leave it unattended. Confidence should never replace cautiousness. Always be cautious of your still. You're still dealing with a flammable vapor and electricity and water, so always be vigilant of it. Alright, the real secret to safe distilling is, safe distilling doesn't come from expensive equipment. It just comes from attention, patience, observation, and respecting the process, understanding how it works and what the risks are, and knowing that risk and how to mitigate that risk. That is the important thing. Alright, the goal is not just to make a good spirit, it's to make a safe run, controlled and repeatable every time. Especially if you're doing the same type of fermentation and you want to have the same results going forward, you have to have it in a safe, controlled manner. So take your time, learn your equipment, and build good habits early on. That can be that basics that you're going to learn that's going to be automatic later on in life. That you don't want to rush things. Make sure your water connections are fine, make sure your heat source is safe, and you'll have a very safe and successful distillation every time. Alright, what safety habit do you think beginner distillers should know? Drop it in the comments. There's someone that might read it and will say, hey, I didn't think about that, let me want to pick that up. If this video helped you understand home distilling and the safety aspect of it, please pop it in the comments as well. I love to read it and I love to reply to you guys as well. This helps me with this whole distilling journey and how to understand things differently as well. I don't know everything. Yes, I tend to write it down and make it easier for me to do the videos as well. But there's a lot of things I still need to learn. And I like it in the comments and I like reading about it as well. It gives me a lot of inspiration for upcoming videos as well. So please write it in the comments. Please go check out my Patreon page. I'm going to start to put up a lot more things on there just to get it a little bit more going as well. I really appreciate it. There's some definitely good distilling tips on there from my distilling guys. If you like it, go check out my distilling guys on Gumroad, please. It just helps get the pot going and keep it warm as well. And as always, remember guys, to be awesome, to be kind, and be yourself. Be safe. Cheers.